Got it. Hold on, it's connecting. All right, I think it's on. Oh, we're live on Facebook. Hello, world.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to
the June and Paul show, or who might
June.
be just a Paul show over there that we're gonna end up having. Oh man!
So
all right.
let's go start this thing.
Teka lang, may nagluluto pa yata eh.
Masunog yan, masunog.
Bantayin mo yan.
Pulutan ba o alusan?
So, Kuya Paul, you go ahead and lead, and let's get a quick introduction on everybody that's present.
Okay, okay. This is Antukin ako, or Jew. Actually, it's not Antukin ako. It's Paul.
Ilaanto ka na nga.
Switch.
Welcome to the June and Paul show, and I am leading the discussion today. My partner June over there. So let's do a real quick recap on what's going on. Usually the June and Paul show is live. Now we're doing a Zoom because there is some topic that we want to discuss about, and it'll be a different format from what you guys are used to. This will be a debate. That means I'm always right and June is always wrong.
But then I brought some friends to make sure to help me out.
So you guys know me as Paul. Go ahead, June. You introduce yourself.
Hey, June here, the other half of the June and Paul show. So we're kind of just getting together here. To tell you the truth, I'm a little bit kind of anxious about this one because I don't know where Paul is gonna drag this whole conversation on, but we're gonna go for it and see where it goes, and we're gonna go ahead and pass on the baton for introductions on the rest of the introductions for the rest of the team that is on here, or the panel, for this nice little debate. We've got to my left or right, depending on what you're looking at, Guru Mike over there. Guru Mike, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Michael Vincent Malañan, residing in Cincinnati, Ohio, teaching multiple FMA styles, Balintawak, FCS, and Barasugo.
Yeah,
all right, bring it down to the next panelist.
Pass the baton to Alex.
Alex Ursha here, Vallejo, California. How you guys doing?
A little more info from you, dude.
Take out the whole list of systems.
Kalisino, Kumbatan, Paiti Arnis, Balintawak. Teaching in Vallejo.
Cool. And pass the baton to one of our celebrity, our famous
our celebrity guest.
Our celebrity guest. Julius from FMA discussion, and go ahead, introduce yourself, Julius.
My name is JV Francisco, Julius Vladimir Francisco. I represent Lameco, and my arts are Lameco, Laban Tulisan, Luciana, Eskrima, and Tabak ni Bonifacio from Malolos. I'm right now streaming from Orange, California, but I have to give a shout out because there's a lot of Midwest people here. I used to work in Bloomington, so I know you guys a lot of Midwest people.
So you called Bloomington Midwest. Excellent, man. That's awesome. You're the man.
All right, awesome. Before we commence though, just take a quick 20 seconds for everybody to share accordingly the live stream onto their appropriate platforms or wherever it is. So we'll take a quick minute for that one. Okay, Paul, go ahead and go ahead. I'm just doing it to one other page. You guys figure out the other pages because it's gonna go.
I am sharing.
I'm sure you are.
I'm sharing this to Antuken.
Oh man. All right. So All right. Okay, Paul,
So-
go ahead.
Basically, here's how it's gonna go. We're gonna pick a topic. One will be on the left side of the debate, either defending that topic, either if it's a negative or positive, and the other side will be defending what they think is right or wrong. Okay, but the debate is this. Okay, just make sure everybody knows this. They might not be agreeing on the topic that they got dealt with, okay? But they have to defend it. That's why it's a debate, okay? So again, they might not agree to what they're being handed, but they have to defend it. So what we're gonna do on every topic that we have, we're gonna assign people on different aspects. So nobody's gonna be in just the same team every time, right? Is that kind of fair?
Okay.
So
Have a run at it.
I was hoping there'll be 6 of us, but our fighter number 1, Tony, left.
Yes.
Entry of the Paete Arnis has to go to, was called by his wife.
He has been summoned by the Tacosa bylaws.
So what we're gonna do first time, because there's 5 of us, one panel will be 3 people, including me, and the other one that's gonna be defending will be versus 3 on 2. Okay, everybody will have their own time to say what they think, to defend their opinion. Then we might go from there. We'll see how this goes. This is the first time this is being done by any FMA discussion or any FMA group. So this is a debate, guys. Maybe this will be a start of a good watchable forum for the future.
Or either that, or we're gonna either that, or a
Okay,
bunch
you
of people are gonna
wrote
be
the topics.
excommunicado.
Are we gonna get blocked by everybody?
Everybody's gonna be like excommunicado us or something. We'll see.
Again, the debate is about defending what you've been dealt with. It's not doesn't necessarily mean you 100% agree with the topic
Okay.
or with the
All right, let's fire away.
fire
Debate
away.
number
So
one.
June, roll the dice on what you wrote on what topic we're gonna hit.
Wait. Teka lang. Bakit ako na? No, you had the topic. I'm part of the debater. Ikaw
Okay.
naman.
So,
Napasubo ako doon ah.
so the first thing we're gonna tackle will be a little bit more fun. So before we get to the serious topic, first one we're gonna do will be naming your art. Once you become an instructor, is it right for you to rename the art that you were given? Example will be, let's say for me, I became an instructor in Hirosa de Cuerdas. Do I have the right to change that to Antuken Ako style, taking the name of Hirosa de Cuerdas? That's only an example. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so on the panel of yes, you can change the name will be
Can you change the
Michael and Julius.
Oh, Michael and Julius on one team, and
The
then
next team will be June and Alex on
oh,
the other side, and I will be joining Michael. So because they have a harder.
100%.
That is hard.
So
All right.
we will go first to the yes, the yes, you can change the name.
Yes, you can.
You can change the name.
Okay, who's that? Who's your yes?
That's you.
Uy, tumahimik ka dyan. Pareho tayong team.
Hindi nakikinig eh.
Go ahead, guys.
Oh, we're
That's
the
you,
yes.
June. Yeah.
I would go to my our West Coast counterpart there, Mr. Alex. Go ahead.
No, we'll give you a time. So June, you go first. It's your time.
So yes, you can create I gotta defend I
You
can
gotta
create.
defend why you can create your own name.
Okay. Oh, oh man, I feel like I'm going to be excommunicated right out of the gate. All right, for disclaimer purposes, first, everybody, this is for the purposes of the debate. It does not reflect my true intentions and beliefs, and I think everybody speaks to that. We are in a certain situation here where Guru Paul over here decides to just throw us in on this and have that dialogue. So that's my first disclaimer. So I am just gonna address whatever question that this guy just put us on. So the question that I was given, or my teammate Alex and I were given, Guru Alex and I, was to defend the situation on whether or not, yes, you can create your own name or system name. So I would say yes in terms of your answer. So yes, okay. Man, ang dami ng intro just to kill some time.
Disclaimer. Ulitin mo disclaimer.
Yeah, let me do it. No, but you know what? I mean, I say yes because in essence, depending on what experience and my perspective is ours on the art or the system or the style that I was given, then you create your own flavor to it. You add your own spice to it, and then you add a little bit of this, that, and the other. So if you are able to systematically produce a curriculum or a format that encompasses all your experiences into one curriculum, I say that is a unique idea on its own, that yes, that produces your own ability to say that is your system and you get to name it. So my fellow counterpart, Mr. Alex over there, would you like to add? I try to go do that as fast as I can.
It's a little bit harder, am I right? It's a harder way to answer stuff. So this will be a good.
Yeah, I need a drink for that one.
Go ahead, Alex, your turn. You didn't
Well-
even take the full 3 minutes.
I know, right?
Oh,
was
I thought
timing
I
it.
had 30 seconds. That's why I had 3
I
minutes.
know, I was timing it. I'm like, that wasn't 3 minutes.
Oh, all right. No, well, I'll take 3 minutes on the next go. So go ahead, Alex.
So for me, can we name it to our the what we were taught into
Can you
our
rename it?
own name?
Basically, rename your system.
Name the art, whatever
Yeah.
name you want it, but it's going to be your name, whatever you assigned it.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Well,
in my
our position
opinion,
is a yes.
yes, you can. Yeah, yes, you can do it. Because basically, my mentors told me to make it my own. Once I understand the art, teach it the way I feel comfortably how to teach it, so I can share it, you know, in a way where I believe will help my student, right? So I can change all of that and name it to my name just to make it more comfortable for people to understand that, oh, okay, this is how I understand the art. Now, does that make it a bad thing? Not really, because without the foundation that you got from the system and your mentors, you're still giving them homage and preserving the art the way it was taught to you. You're just teaching it in a different method. So the name for me doesn't really matter. Parang it's like you call me Alex, Lex, Al, Taba, whatever. I'm still the same person, right? So it's the same thing for me. It's like it's just a name. It's not really the system. Now, that's how I see it. It shouldn't insult anybody because that's my version of teaching, and I want to name it that way, you know. And a lot of people did the same thing. You know, so for me, it's a yes. You can change the name if you want to. It's just based on
1 minute
how,
left.
okay, how you teach it. It's based on how you teach it, and if you care about the art and how to preserve the art, you know, and giving credit to who you got it from, and who taught you. It's pretty much it.
Yeah. Can we continue to add on to that?
Yeah, you got 42 seconds.
Oh,
You
go
can
ahead.
add. Go ahead. You can add. June?
No, it was a general question. I didn't really have anything to kind of.
He's abandoning you, Alex. He's not backing you up.
No.
You got 25 seconds left.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm good. I'm good.
Other
No, I'm not
side.
doing very well with this, with the time management and this
Yeah,
debate.
yeah.
Yeah. So we got 3 minutes each.
That's
Okay.
because we had no warm up. It was just like
No
jump
war-
on it.
No warm up. This is
No
This is the
icebreaker. It was
warm-up.
like, go.
So on the other side of the coin, we need to keep the lineage name and don't change the name at all. We
Yeah.
have Michael to start.
Oh, wow. Again, disclaimer, right? First disclaimer is that this is the question and the category I was put in. So the question states that I do not have the right to change the style that I'm taught with. Reason being, it's a couple of things. First, it could potentially be cultural. I want to pay respect to my instructors. So whatever they teach me, that's the style I'm going to be teaching under my instructorship, my lead. And it's the point of humility and humbleness that comes with our culture. So that's the reason for having to keep and retain that the name and style as you become an instructor. Not only to one and maybe to maybe five, just as long as you retain that style or system. So those are common feedback that you might want to keep and retain that, and it's also the respect that you provide to your direct instructors to say that I'm going to keep the name and the style because I highly respect my instructors and their instructors and the lineage. Am I bringing anything new to the system in terms of the full curriculum? No, my intention is to preserve the lineage and the style as taught to me by my instructor and as taught to my instructor to his instructor. So that is the path that I'm given, and that's the path I'm going to share to my students to keep the lineage and preserve the style. So yes, I'm going to say, yeah, you cannot change the name because that's the category I'm giving in, because that's the mentality I'm approaching it with.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
Julius, yeah, your response.
Again, this doesn't necessarily reflect our personal viewpoint, but my thing is, I don't think we should change it, and that's the position that you give it, because if you look at other systems, almost like they treat it like Holy Writ. They don't change the thing. They see it as there's value with that particular name. They try to keep lineages. Just observe other systems like Chinese systems, Korean, Japanese. For one reason or another, in the martial arts world, FMA has been like, oh, within like 25, 30 years, like, heck, the Grandmaster is not even dead already. And there's already like 4 or 5 different interpretations and different names by like his top students. That doesn't reflect very well when it comes to our community. If you take the stance that, don't change the name, which is basically what you appointed me. Just look at a great example is this is a historical example. In Japan, they have the Shinsengumi, which is the equivalent to modern day of FBI HRT. During the time of the Bakumatsu period, right? They have one style. They didn't change the name, so even now they call it the same name. And this is like from the late 1800s. Why is it in FMA where we have like these grandmasters that actually did get into matches? Some led to someone getting seriously hurt or getting killed, right? Why is it that we feel that we have the goal to change their thing? It's we have to approach this in a sense that don't change the name because it's an intellectual property, right? It's an intellectual property of theirs, right? If you change the name, it's kind of like changing. So what did you add then? What did you add? Is it basically still that Grandmaster style plus you? Because anytime that you have another practitioner practice a style, it will always be a hyphen, because we all have different body types. We all have different personalities. So we might have a slight different interpretation from it.
But if the intellectual property is still the same, the curriculum is still the same, why don't you just keep the same name then?
Right, and
Yeah.
I want to build up on that too. I mean, yes, you're retaining the curriculum. This is how you were taught. You might have a slight flavor to it that you could add on, but you're still retaining the curriculum. Now, if you're retaining the curriculum and building out of that same tree, you're still using the same tree. You're still using that same style. You're just going one branch saying, this is my add-on. It might work for you, might not work for you, but this works for me. But really, really, this is the style that I learned it from this main tree branch. So why change the name? Why change the style name? Why promote that one branch where you could support the whole foundation of the whole tree, right? So that's kind of answering that same categorically mentality of retaining that style and lineage.
Yeah, it's just like, why don't you just keep the name and say like, oh, okay, this is what I added. You know, this is like a subsystem, but it's still the same lineage, it's still the same name. No need to change. No need to change the name.
Okay, very good.
All right. What about you, Guru Paul? You got to throw in one or the other side.
Well, I'm on the side of, like I said, I'm going to with a Mike's side
That's right.
this time. Basically, for me, stick with to the name of where the art came from that you learned. Again, out of respect, and maybe that's another reason. Maybe that's the wish of whoever taught you, out of respect. So sometimes we have to put that into consideration. And having the name, it kind of, you trace that all the way back to the lineage where it came from. Because if once you change the name, if the history got cut off, how do we really know where it came from?
Mhm.
So for me, keeping the name is good. Or here's what I'm gonna do to you guys. Now, Mike, since I am the kind of, what if you have multiple style, okay, multiple system, and you created now your own school? You can't put all your names in there of all the masters. Then you have to create another name. Is that right?
Well, are you asking me that directly, right? So
Directly.
can I do that? Yeah, I could surely do that. I have the right to do that. If I'm in good standing in all different styles, I will promote all different styles as much as I can. Now, if I need to repackage that because of the regional area where I'm at, where they don't recognize it to begin with, what if they don't understand what a Filipino term is, because it's not a common English term in the Midwest, and I'll say, oh yeah, I'm opening up a karate school. They know it's a martial arts school, but they don't know what kind of style I'm putting in until they get in. And I say, okay, these are the styles I'm teaching. It's the same thing as supporting the same lineage. Yes, I put my flavor in it. At the same time, I'm going to retain the curriculum. Yeah, I can surely do that. Why not? What gives me what are my barriers preventing me from doing that to accomplish the same goal as my instructors have taught me in promoting their system? I'm just making a new platform to ensure all those students that are interested in learning it have a way to see it.
But are we still changing the name? That's the question. Let's
No,
say
I'm not changing the name. I'm going to present it to them as the style that I learned to. I mean, I've seen a lot of practitioners out there with great martial arts styles who have accomplished many styles more than I, and they would say, oh yeah, I'm in karate, shitoryu, I'm taekwondo, I'm hapkido, and all that stuff, and they would say, this is what I teach. But then the difference then is that I'm going to call this Tim's martial arts, and now they have a new blend. Now, if I'm
so you're putting a top name under the real name of the others. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, to draw the people in, because they know you in that region, right?
June, you agree with that?
So do I agree with that? Well,
No,
that's
I'm asking you now. I'm asking June.
I'm sorry, June. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because your now is keep the name, am I right?
Yes.
I mean, I
keep the name.
change the name. So
Yes.
how do you agree on what Michael is saying?
No, I think that's it. That's, he might make some great points, but at the same time, you're looking at the future and the progression. By the way, disclaimer again, this is because of my
There's
position on
already
the
a disclaimer.
debate.
No need to disclaim every
Yeah,
time
no,
you
no, that's just a quick disclaimer. Baka mamaya, they just cut this segment and it'd be like, if
And
somebody
again,
decides.
guys, whoever's watching this, we are all friends here. Okay, we're just putting ourselves in the spot, and nobody's getting mad at anybody. This is an open discussion. It's a debate that you were put in, and you just have to defend, even though you don't agree or you agree to the material. Go ahead,
Okay.
June.
All right. So, you pay homage to your instructor or the teacher or something. So Grandmaster Karate ABC just gave me the rights to be able to use his name. But use his name or basically teach his style, his art. But at the same time, I've already added to that and contributed to that and added to that. Now I could still pay homage to him, but I could still kind of change the system or the name, because I could still say, oh, this is now June's, karate style XYZ but then if you look at the lineage, and if we just kind of go with the lineage, it was from ABC karate or whatever.
Well,
right?
the problem that I gave Michael is, what if he has multiple style with multiple names? So now on your end, are you going to change all those names into one? See,
yeah, so
Michael, wait, let me clarify. Michael's statement was he's going to keep everybody's name. He's going to make another name on the top just to branch them out.
Right.
Now, on your side, if you have multiple art, are you going to name all of them? Rename all of them?
Yeah. No, I think you're going to have to come up with an umbrella because of the position. So I'm going to come up with XYZ martial arts. And then you know what? You are, once you get to know and come into that system, then you could maybe go into the history, because the way if I am going to be very good at this system that I create, which, let's say I'm going to be sharing this with my students, and my students are going to share with theirs. At some point, you're creating history, you're creating some kind of a chronological or, a format of it. So when I change it, there's going to be a story or a history as to, hey, when I named it this, it actually already included that. But I don't need to have a full list of all the instructors, because my student is going to have a very, very long wall to have all these names in. So you just have an overarching umbrella. That overarching umbrella now represents all of these, versus just having to name all of this in terms of that. So that is, my contribution to that position.
Now, Julius, on your side, keeping the name, am I right? So another art can say it's a family art, right? So let's say who wants family art. So we keep that name until what will happen if one of your students decide to change the name? What do you think it will be the consequence?
Well, there has to be parameters and rules to follow, for when that happens, and that is wholly dependent on that particular clan and that particular family. Now, the reason why it's as a pro side for keeping the name, just giving an example of the Shinsengumi, the style that they practiced in Niten Ichiryu, right? And they still practice that today. So a lot of the members of that, basically, they didn't have no choice. They were descendants of the samurai that fought for the shogunate, right? Even up to today, they do hard sparring until today, right? You don't see them changing names.
So what will happen if one of the practitioners decide, I want to change the name and leaves?
Well, yeah. So again, it depends on.
Now we're going on the gray area here, my guys. The discussion.
No, I know. It depends on the particular clan, right? So the rules have to be set by that particular clan, right?
Correct.
So or that particular group. So depending, it could be as high as ostracization, like getting kicked out of that family system, or it could be like, well, okay, cool, you practice that, just don't call it, our thing, right?
Okay, good. Now, Alex, He got kicked out. He went to your side. He decided to change name. What do you think about that?
Well, since it's about mentality for me. I'll help him. I'll support what his belief is in. Again, it's about maybe what he believes in needs to be addressed, or maybe he named it because a different name because of he believes this technique is better than that technique, or if his add-on was better, that he changed the name. I can always support him because at the same time, even if he changes the name, the roots, they still know where it came from, where the roots is. So I can support him, no problem.
So the common denominator that I'm hearing from you guys is, as long as the person is learning the right way.
Yes,
and
as long as he's teaching his students correctly, and it's effective and it's not watered down, then it's okay. Now, if I'll support him in that venture because he believes in his new product. People, I believe people have that freedom to do so, and if he got excommunicated from his old group, actually, I don't think that's an issue for me to worry about. What matters is his goal is to spread his own gospel in a way, right?
Right.
And just teach it and continue on. And it's happening now. We see a lot of branching out. So
Okay, we are done.
there you go.
So now, just to end this topic, I will give you guys the floor for a minute. I'll give you guys 2 minutes each, just to see a common ground. I know you guys took one side. Give a suggestion that might be a common ground that both parties will be at peace.
So I'll go first on that one. So
Let me start the timer. Go ahead. Go.
So I'll go with that one. One comment and definitely one topic one needs to address the personality fit between practitioner and instructor. In order for you to support an instructor, you might have to choose what your personality type for that instructor, meaning that you guys have to complement one another. If you don't, then your journey is messed up, man. I mean, I hate to be learning from an instructor that I hate learning from and training from every single day. It has to be that point where you agree 100% to the approach of the instructor. Maybe some disagreements, but not enough for you to say that, hey, I can't stand this instructor. That has to happen first. You have to have a good match between practitioner and instructor. That's my response.
Next.
Common ground.
Everybody can jump in. Who's next?
Junior mute.
I keep talking, and it was like on mute. Now let me. We're looking at common ground, or maybe something to where it kind of helps both sides. There could be the idea or the possibility of making it kind of a hyphen. As Filipinos, we have
a lot of names in Filipino.
Yeah, no,
we can have long names.
Yes, but we make acknowledgement to the maiden name. It goes maiden name to surname. So we could basically come up with our own name and say XYZ, but it's ABC/XYZ martial arts. And then when somebody else comes in and creates their own, then they have to go with XYZ, which was mine, to whatever elemental P that they have. So you always have a connectivity up. So kind of a family tree aspect. You start looking. All right, there you go.
Your time's up.
I think that just the easiest way to settle all this, when it comes to agreeing to disagree, is just bring back challenge matches. So that's the surest way.
That match this.
That's the surest way to see who has the real name, who has the
Who has
real,
the real
legit,
name?
No, but would the death match be fought in that particular, style of fighting, or is it anything goes and they get to choose?
No, it has to be that particular style, right? It's just kind of like if you're gonna get into BJJ tournament, all of a sudden you're not gonna do like Greco-Roman or Sambo, right? It's like, oh, no leg locks, So that's kind of the thing. So
Alex?
that's my.
Well, on common grounds, I think number one is, since you're both teaching, make sure you're teaching it correctly, and you're producing good students. Give credit to who you came from, and don't always just think about it as me. It's about sharing. So I agree with Mike. You got to click with the person that you're learning from, or else
You can't cross lines yet.
No, it's common ground though.
So common ground. We're talking about common ground.
The common
Balimbing ito,
ground is
balimbing.
suggestion on how to fix the frown.
Hindi, sabi mo kasi common ground eh.
Balimbing ito, balimbing.
Para kay butas pa, oh.
Hindi, daanin na lang natin sa laban. Nasaan yung baston mo?
Kay Julius tayo. Dead match na. Dead match.
Tapang mo ah.
Now, before we end this topic, I mean, how come we see this a lot in FMA, where in other arts, doesn't matter. I mean, Thai boxing, again, I have background in Thai boxing. They seldom fight on the name. If you want to create your own name, that's fine. But if you want to pay respect when you go up in the ring and fight, usually you will take your master's last name and put it in your name. That's the respect that they give. The bowing and those are the respect. The respect is actually not done by carrying somebody else's name. Right?
Kasi naglalaban pa rin sila because they're still fighting with it. That's why.
Right. They can't get out of it.
It's still Bugay Drapan. It's not Do yet. It's still Jutsu. That's the reason.
Correct.
All right.
Are we good with this topic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one. What you
Moving
got?
to the next one.
What you got, and which side do I fall on?
Well, we go on a little bit more harder issue here. To fight or not to fight. So basically the topic will be, can you be called a GM if you never fought before? Now, let's put a little bit more subgroup in there. Can you be an effective instructor, a GM, because you fought? Right? That makes sense, guys?
Wait, can you repeat that again? Can you be a what? A respected instructor?
Can you be a respected GM based on fighting or not fighting, side? Are you gonna be the best? Why? Is it better to be? Hang on. Is it better to be a person that fought and always, won all the fight to be called a GM? How important is GM? I guess on fighting, do you need to be really fighting and winning? Is a GM, can a Filipino who's a good instructor be called a GM, even though, let's say, he lost all his fights? On the side of fighting, we'll go with Michael and June together.
That we are
No fighting.
okay.
Julius and Alex. We have the Balintawak versus the.
No. Let's take out the no.
Let's take out the styles.
Let's take out the
We're talking
systems.
about experience, right?
We're talking
Let-
about
Let me rephrase the question again. It's based on fighting. Is it really important that a person with no fighting skills or never or even fought but lost to be a GM? Maybe first start with define GM for me in your own way, on your own perspective, what do you think is a GM? We'll start with you, Michael. We'll start 3 minutes each. Michael, you start now.
So the question states that what defines a GM? Be honest, I don't know what defines a GM, a master, or you know, I think it's really the material that you teach to your instructors, where you have a strong following and that your system is solid, where you have proven your system, your art to be an effective system for martial arts. Are
We
you
need to
defined as a
connect the,
are you going to be defined as a grandmaster if you say, hey, I have experience? It's based, if it's based on experience level to be a GM, then that's how you would define a GM in my side. It's an
We have-
experience level.
we have to add GM on fighting. That means on your side, your
Yes.
your GM is an undefeated fighter.
Yeah, so undefeated fighter. Yeah, surely. As an undefeated fighter, and I'm a GM or defined as a GM, that GM brings a lot of experience. That's his personal experience to tell you and teach you and give you perspective on actual combat. It's a battle-ready system, meaning whether I win or lose, I have learned something, I have gained something from that experience, which I could pass on to my students what to do or what not to do. I could answer a student's question by saying, is this a right technique or is this a wrong technique? And you could provide a perspective. This is what I did, and this is how it turned out. It might not turn out to be the same for you, but this is the end result for me. Make it work for you. But at least there's a foundational answer. It's not like, well, I think this is what's going to happen. Because that's more of a theoretical type fighter, right? So if you don't have an actual battle ready or proven ready on your own experience as an instructor, and that's the category I'm trying to respond, is that then it might not be as effective to support your students' growth or journey if they're looking for that particular discipline
15
to
seconds.
fight. So that is kind of my take on the battle ready, the battle or proven ready to support you as an instructor or as a GM and your system.
June.
All right, so let's define kind of first a GM. A GM, let's look at it. I'm going to create an analogy here, on a business analogy. So a GM would technically be kind of the lead of an organization. So if you're a leader of a company, you're kind of the CEO, high-level executive of an organization. That's you're the GM there. As a high-level CEO, you could be losing money one year or making money. It all depends on kind of your structure. You have to have an organization that you're leading to have that CEO title. Okay, I'm going to refer to the CEO title aspect. With having that title comes experiences, being a fighting experiences. As again, you could have lost money or lost fights, or you could make money or won fights. So
Your side
regardless
always
of-
wins.
What's that?
Your side always wins. Never lost a
Yes.
fight.
Yeah. No. We always win. Well, great. That means I'm successful and knowledgeable in what I do. So I am having an organization to where I am leading my organization. So as CEO or GM of my organization, I have to have people under me and growing and kind of working towards a certain goal and direction. So if I was a GM or a CEO of no organization, then it's really kind of not worth the value of anything. But given my experiences in running the organization, I think that's where it becomes a component.
Still 2 minutes left.
What? That was, man,
Yeah.
I gotta take my yeah.
Well, you guys are a team. Michael, you want to add something on June? Or should I toss it to the other side?
No, absolutely. I would like to add on to that. I mean, I agree with that organizational support, right? If you are running an organization, you're leading a group. You better lead a group that supports your endeavors, your experiences to ensure the group is successful. That is, and this is based on experience. This is your experience level. If it's just given to you, there's a high probability that you might fail but if you could also be supported to succeed. Pero what I'm trying to get at is that experiences counts for everything. Whether it's, it has to be battle ready or proven ready, and whether you're a 100% winner and say can you consider yourself a GM? Well, based from your track record, you have proven that you have the capacity and intellect and education and experience to say, this is what I can share to my student.
Yep. And then business wise, you're looking at an organization to where you need to be profitable, and it's a dog eat dog world out there. So that means you got to be taking out the competition. You got to be winning your contracts. You got to be winning your revenue, and you got to be always on the forefront of being able to adapt to the outdoor factors that's impacting your company. So you, as GM or head of your company, will be able
5
to,
seconds.
with your experience, be able to combat that. Thank you very much for the question.
Yep.
Okay, on the other side, no fighting experience or fought but lost. Who wants to start first? Hey,
I'll
Alex,
start
you
first.
go ahead, Alex.
Okay, so this is how I see it. Well, for me, a GM is like a founder of his own art. So this is how I see it. For you to become a GM, and you started at the bottom, first you've learned from a effective system, and now you want to teach. So once you develop your students that you're teaching, that makes you an instructor. Once you've produced good instructors that have their own group, and they branch out and they build that part of your organization, that makes you now a master, because you've developed some good students who became instructors, are now having their own schools, and now they teach their own group. Now, once you become a master, and your students who were instructors are now are developing better instructors, they become masters, and that brings you up to Grandmaster. So now you've built an organization of knowledgeable students, and produce masters and students. Everything can be still based on experience, because as an instructor, you're testing your techniques, and you're absorbing what's useful, discarding what's useless, right? You may not have won all your fights like the undefeated masters right there, but hey, even in a sparring match, you'll gain experience, and you'll know what works and what doesn't work. So you're still producing good products, or you're still becoming a fighter. Doesn't mean that you're a winningest, grandmaster, but at least you put up and you got into in the ring, so-called ring, right? And got into matches, experimented with your students or with your training partners, and learned how to develop different systems of teaching for that, so you can develop better students, and your students can have become fighters, and you can coach them to produce these fighters. So sometimes you might not be the best, fighter in the ring, and not undefeated, but you can be a great coach, and you could still be a grandmaster. That's how I see it.
10
and
seconds.
you have, and that's how I see it.
Julius?
To me, you don't have to have won a lot or won all the time, or even you lost a lot. I'm gonna give you an example why. People tend to forget where FMA came from. This is a tribal war art. What matters isn't your individual victory, but the victory of your tribe. So let's go to fight sports. What does Eddie Futch, Freddie Roach, Arcel, and Brown, what do they all have in common? They were never champion. But in between them, like in between Freddie Roach and Futch, Futch had like 19 world champions. Freddie has in the high 20s now. They both have the record. Freddie broke Futch's record essentially. So in fight sports, this is common. In martial science, this is common. I don't think anyone would say that Freddie Roach or Eddie Futch are not masters when it comes to applying the trade of boxing. They never became champion, though. Futch basically gave up boxing pretty young. He didn't really turn full-on pro, right? Same thing with the Wizard in Kronk Gym with the great Emmanuel Stewart. Look, he produced like Thomas Hearns and all these great fighters. Emmanuel Stewart never became champion, right? To me, what defines a grandmaster is can you make your tribe combat applicable? And is it repeatable? Meaning, like, it's one thing if you get like one Manny Pacquiao, but like how many champions have you got, really? So if you can replicate that success, maybe it's not to a great degree, but like if you have basically multiple fighters in your stable or multiple people that you're teaching that can apply those skills effectively with victory, that to me is what defines a grandmaster. Is knowledgeably applying martial knowledge, and passing it down, right? And to people that can apply it. So a great example of this in the jiu-jitsu world is John Danaher. I'm going to ask you, how many titles in Worlds did John Danaher win? How many tournaments? He has none. But look at his stable. He revolutionized BJJ. Nobody could touch his students now. Like, he revolutionized the leg lock game so much that people was just dumbfounded. Like, they didn't know how to approach that, right? It was really like a revolution. It's almost as if like he was like the era of like the fighter jet, and like they broke the sound barrier. So if we only take into account like, oh well, he never fought, blah blah blah. Yeah, but look at his stable. Like, they have basically the winningest like fight team in BJJ history. Ryan, his student, is probably the greatest BJJ tournament player of all time. And I don't think there's any argument for that. And for that the case, even if we look at like combat history when it comes to actual martial, I mean war, right? You don't see like Alexander the Great having one-on-one matches or Genghis Khan, but Genghis Khan didn't lose in the battlefield. I don't think anyone would not think that they're masters when it comes to combat. Of course they are. What matters is being able to give that info and have people execute correctly and win. That's what defines a grandmaster to me.
Rebump? Anybody from the other side?
Quick one before we go into the rebump. I just want to acknowledge I forgot that we were on Facebook option. I mean, I know that we're live, but there's comments up there.
We totally forgot we're live.
well, I forgot that they could comment, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So I just want to give a couple of shout outs. We got Chris there. Hey, what's up, Chris? Chris Chu, Johnny, Joe Apostole. Who else?
I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry, guys.
Just wanted to at least acknowledge that I totally forgot that you could comment there. But anyway, all right. Welcome everybody on Facebook.
That I totally... Go ahead, June, since you're talking already.
All right, so rebuttal. I got lost. To tell you the truth. I'm gonna pass it to my counterpart, Mike there.
Yeah, so the question is rebuttaling whether to be a GM, you should be able to fight or not fight. I think it's always been a context where people will ask you sometimes, maybe not ask you. If you want to define a training journey, would you consider yourself going for a theoretical fighter or a proven fighter?
That's a very good point.
I mean, that's a question that you have to, answer yourself as a practitioner or as a student.
Yep.
Theoretical fighters will have great knowledge, but the thing of it is that it's going to be dependent from one person to another, and can you apply that? And I want to build on what Julius have said. You don't have to be a great fighter, but you could generate great students to become great fighters. But there's a scale there. The theoretical fighters could develop that without doubt. Proven fighter, will say, hey, this is my personal experience. It's a first-hand experience. And again, same thing. Can you apply that as a student or learn it from scratch or directly from an instructor?
So
So it's
on
50-50,
that statement,
right?
Yeah.
on that statement, Julius. So the biggest problem with FMA that I see is once they found out that you lost on a fight, your students are going to abandon you. That creates a problem. So what do you think? I mean, why is the mentality of a lot of FMAers are into you always have? Can you answer that question?
I personally can't answer that question. I think that's a particular flaw in our community because it's like, okay, cool. Do you seriously think that Mayweather can win against Sugar Ray Robinson? Like, I know he has an undefeated record, but like, can he win against Charlie Burley or Harry Greb? So that's a dumb thing. I don't know why. It's almost as if FMA started that and then boxing later copied it because like you see this generation of boxing fans is just like, if you lose your O, you're not worth crap. You know, you're not
Correct.
worth shit for lack of a better term, right? And really, that's the wrong message. And I think because they got spoiled with Mayweather, that like, oh, if you don't have anything less than a no, then you're crap. It's like no, like because in a real battlefield, losing doesn't necessarily always mean you're gonna die. You know, because that's the reason why there's a term of like egress and exfil the battlefield, right? Am I right? Like sometimes you have to run because your forces are overrun. People always tend to forget that the arts come from en masse and group attacks. It wasn't a one-on-one thing. The duel thing is very recent. That is almost a chivalric European concept that was added much later. The original FMA was about like spear and it was a group on group, squad on squad engagement. It wasn't a one-on-one thing. So
the thing I see most of the time is let's say if I go to the side of Michael and June, I walk into their dojo and all I see are trophies of grand champion, number one. I mean, they can basically, I go, can you teach me how to fight? He can just go, look, I can show you on my platform that I fought. What will you do if the guy goes to your gym, Alex, and he doesn't see any trophies? And then he asks you, how can you teach me how to fight if you keep losing on fighting? I mean, not personally either.
No, I
I'm not
get it.
personally saying you, but
Try me. Try me. If you win, then go next door. If I win,
let's say Joe that doesn't really know martial arts just wants to, he sees winning, kicking ass is the key. Then he goes to your gym. All he sees are, second or third level, ranking on championship.
Well, basically,
How would
what
you address that?
I'll tell him, hey, give me 3 to 6 months. We'll go hit the competition circuit and see what happens. And if he
Can you
doesn't
give
like
me
me after
50% discount on the tuition since you're not a champion? Well, if I go to Michael and June are gonna can I get a discount? They're gonna go, no.
You gotta pay that 6 months.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Alex. Go ahead. Let you finish.
No, but joking aside, yeah, if let's say I was a fighting coach and I said, hey, I might not have won or my students may have had second, third, but hey, if you try me for 6 months and you still don't like it, you can still go to Mike and learn from Mike, because sometimes it's not really me, it's the person who's fighting in the competition. At the end of the day, I can only coach this person how to win. When he's in the ring, he's on his own. So that coach can't blame me because maybe it's his mindset, So for me, and I've experienced that in myself, if I go into a match and I think I can't make it, I know I can't make it. But if I'm determined and my mindset is like I'm going to win this fight, I win the fight. So that's how I see it.
Now, June, let me throw something into June. So on your side, What if you're, a good champion, but you really cannot teach?
There you go.
Well,
Yeah,
here's a problem that we
definitely.
encounter. So, you're a champion, but you can't teach. There's
I'm a
how
champion.
how
So,
do you? I mean,
so
do you
I'm
think it's right to do that and call
all right.
yourself a
So
GM?
Sweep the leg.
so first, so first of all, so we're going with your question and your position as to that disclaimer again. So
Disclaimer again.
disclaimer again. You get me really nervous with the way you like to approach these questions.
Disclaimer lagi.
So first of all, I'm a champion, but I cannot teach. Well, look, we all start off with theory. With a fighting theory, we go and try to prove it. So now as a champion, that means I have proven my fighting theories and concepts. It has worked. So I have established that. Now, being able to convey what it is I did, whether it be by moving and allowing them to follow exactly what I do.
So you're gonna beat them up.
Or show them, or tell them, or explain to them.
And I'll beat you up.
Yeah, so I'm going to share with the student everything I know in terms of being able to try to convey what I went from theory to application and how that technique or process works. So at the end of the day, I would probably take responsibility of half of that. And then the other half is their responsibility to be able to understand and gain that knowledge.
Is it really right for you that because you can't teach to be called a GM, even though you're undefeated?
You had me answering one question and now you threw out the other one. I was ready for the one you just gave me. All right, so repeat the question. Is it really what?
Is it really right for you to be called a GM, even though you're undefeated, but you cannot teach?
Well, I think I've earned the rank. I've had a theory. Everybody comes out with their fighting theory.
Well, I'm debating you right now, but
Yeah.
Basically you're a champion, but you can't be a GM.
What's your basis on me not being able to be a GM?
That's why I'm asking you.
So
because you're a champion in the ring. Let's just say in the ring of fighting. But a GM, earlier when I asked what is a GM, we kind of come up with be able to pass on the knowledge to the next student of yours.
Yes.
But now you cannot pass it to your next student. You're only a champion.
Yeah, if I'm only a champion and I don't have a student, then technically I haven't earned the GM status because I don't have an organization to run. Remember my analogy that as a GM, you're kind of like CEO, you're running a full organization. Based on
you're still a successful businessman as a CEO. But again, the problem deep inside is, let's say I'm on the other side looking, this guy can't teach. He's a champion, but he can't teach. Should you be called a GM?
Absolutely. Because I still, just because that one particular student wasn't able to pick up and understand the material that I was able to provide them, I still have had a history and success along those lines and run an organization to be able to get to where I am. Just because I have one off is not enough to be able to base my success and my title and what I've earned based on a one-off situation. It could be that person's issue. He or she didn't have a base to be able to understand the knowledge and gift that I was.
That's your responsibility.
Half of my responsibility. It's a journey of two people. So I take half and they take the other half. Julius.
Well, okay, so I don't think you can call yourself a GM if you can't teach, because that to me, mastery entails, totality, right? So it's just like, one thing is like, can you just destroy? Do you know how to heal? Because the thing is, a lot of that you could in the olden times, you don't separate those thought systems. You don't separate Hilot, you don't separate the healing arts, you don't separate the oracion and thing, you don't separate the martial knowledge, right? If you can't pass on what you know, You're good is dead. You might as well have lost your death match. You might as well be dead because it's you weren't able to pass on basically what you learned. It's like a life wasted essentially. It's like if that's your pliable skill and trade, and there's no one that you could share it to, it's like an artist with no viewership, with no fans. You know. So to me, it's like, yeah, people always argue it's like, oh, you're a theoretician. But in fight sports, a lot of theoreticians make for really good teachers. They're true masters. So again,
Well,
like, you know,
let me throw something in there, Jules. What if it doesn't matter if he can't teach or not, but people are enrolling by the hundreds in his class? Nobody's quitting. They just see the freaking champion. I am with a champion. Take a picture with a champion. Can't teach jack, but
here's the thing:
enrollment is rolling.
Can they move like him though? So that's the question you have to ask. Like, did anyone in that class like were able to like inherit the style from that guy? Otherwise, they're just wasting time. They're just playing air guitar.
So basically, a GM needs to have to produce followers that might be.
Because that system. Here's the thing: if you can't, that system's dead. That system basically is a dead system.
What do you think, Mike? See, I mean, like I said, if you have hundreds of students signing up, I mean, for me, it's a success on the other end of it. You know, if we look at a CEO aspect, I mean, it can still be a GM.
So where's my standing? Where are you putting me in this
We're
debate?
still on the champion.
So me being a champion, and I might consider the GM, even though I'm a horrible instructor.
You're debating what Julius just said, because you can't call yourself a GM.
Ooh, that is a tough call. If I take that stand, I am basically putting myself into a high risk profile, saying you gotta trust me, even though I'm a horrible instructor. I'm not producing a good student or a practitioner or the continuation of the lineage. You just have to blindly trust me to say I'm the best of the best. You have to stick with me.
Let me add something in there. There's instructors out there that because they're champions, they don't know that they can't teach.
Yeah,
okay?
I agree.
Nobody has told them that they can't teach. So this is a fact in any.
Yeah, it is a given. Yeah, and I think, you know, that in that particular mindset, that person has to hold his ground or her ground to hold a group of people to just in pure blind faith.
Correct.
Whether, hey, or they're riding on the wave, or they're riding on the context of, hey, I'm with a champion. Here's a photo with the champion. Therefore, I'm also a champion. That's a blind faith right there. So now we're back to that same mentality of what a practitioner and an instructor partnership would be. And it's going to be that practitioner's preference to be with that instructor. Whether it's pure blind faith, pure battle-ready system, pure theoretical system, it's up to that practitioner to make that journey. Yeah, I mean, sure, I could bring my popularity as my foundation just to share to the world that I'm the best of the best. And hey, trust me, with blind faith, I'm going to bring you up there. Sure, there's a lot, you know, that's going to be my claim. That's going to be.
Now, Alex, in your part, so they're pretty good at defending, you know, very good fighter, no teaching skills, can still be a GM. Now on your end,
that had me sweating, by the way. And just
Alex.
I'm gonna insert a few things.
No, it's Alex's turn.
No. Of the Facebook thing, skill, not a title or certificate or business, is what Michael Ard said. I'm just gonna insert these things as we go along, just so it's connectivity.
Repeat that.
Oh, Michael Ard says skill, not a title, a certificate or a business. I don't know to which point, but that's just gonna go read off things here. All right, go ahead.
I mean, we know for a fact there's a lot of instructors out there that are very good, but can't have struggling on students, struggling on passing their knowledge. Maybe some of them never fought, but we are very skillful in teaching. I mean, is it still legit to go and learn from them, or opinions? And will you? I mean, I know you traveled the Philippines to find all these great masters, unknown masters. Now, if you encounter somebody who's defeated, don't know if he can teach, will you still approach him?
Yes.
And how will you test him that make sure that he can teach? And then after that, if he can teach, he calls himself GM.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's blindly following a person, but basically, I think you have to it's like food. You got to try it first, right? And then you just keep on coming back if you like it. Sometimes a grandmaster doesn't, or a maestro or a guru, he might not. He still takes that title, right? And he might not have enough knowledge, or might not be as effective as, let's say, the so-called undefeated fighter, but he can at least share what he has, and maybe what you've learned from that person, you can utilize that in your own way. I'll still learn from that person if I think that it's worth it. It just depends on my preference. I've met a lot of so-called maestros that at first I thought it didn't work, and then suddenly I'm playing with Julius, and then oh shoot, it's working, right? So
yeah, so Julius is very good, huh?
That's because it was Julius. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He's Julius. He's good, man. Why?
That's because it was Julius, so it worked.
Was there a dialect difference you didn't understand first?
You might not have a name or whatever, and then suddenly you're like, oh, yes, that works.
So last question for everybody. Okay. The question will be, if you belong on an organization, is it right for that same organization to promote you as a GM, or should it be another body that's outside your group to give you that title? Taking away self-promotion, am I right? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
Yeah.
So anybody can yes or no and a little explanation, then we'll move on to the next topic.
Can I start this one because this is very close to my heart?
Go ahead.
This is actually why I'm for the Confederation, because I think the thing is, like, it is very painful to say because it's almost like a contradicting motion to me. Is FMA is going the route of Do instead of Jutsu or Bugay Johapan, right? The thing is, like, would it kind of soften that, or take the teeth out, take the venom out of the snake? Yeah, it might. But the thing is, there's positives for that too, like what happened with Taekwondo, Judo, and Karate, right? I think there should be a unifying body. It's just kind of like having a website, like a better business bureau. Like, we should have that. We should be like, man, that guy ain't worth shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there should be something like within our community that would be like, yeah, man, that guy sucks, right? As opposed to like people wasting time and like learning from this dude for like 10 years and then wasting like not only their money and end up getting killed. You know what I mean? So yeah, Confederation, yeah. GM Rene, all those people, yeah, Bumbit, yeah. Confederation, yeah. So I know a couple years ago they tried to do it with Louis Leto, right? With Matao Guru Association, something kind of similar to that. I feel like we need that, in our community. There really should be a vetting process, because just like, it can't just be like one dude's like, all of a sudden, I'm a GM now, says who?
Oh, that's correct. Okay, next. Quiet. Next.
Well,
Actually,
I'm gonna try to tackle this one. So can your organization or another organization be able to promote somebody into a GM status? I'd like to, as long as it's within the same particular umbrella of art. You know, if it's somebody with an FMA, let's just say we go with an FMA, maybe another system, but either like a council of elders within, you know, different systems, they might be able to see something in a particular person and be able to say, you know what, based on their capacity, movement, skill, and everything that they've done within their journey, they've earned within their eyes. Now, ideally, it'd be great for the own organization to be able to see that, but maybe, you know, again, it depends on the lenses. I would say in that retrospect of umbrella, but I won't say that, you know, jiu-jitsu guy comes in and says, hey, you know what, that FMA guy is gonna be a GM. We want to promote him as GM. That then, you know, it's not on the same kind of umbrella, so to speak. So I'd say that there's gonna have to be parameters on that. But shoot, that's putting me in a position now that I thought about it.
Alex?
I agree that there should be an umbrella council slash confederation, whatever you might want to call it, because they can look from outside. Sometimes if you're only in your own organization, sometimes it's like they're biased, right? Or maybe they just look at you as a senior. Sometimes it's and I've seen this a lot. It's just because, oh, all of these guys are senior, grandmasters, and hey, Alex was in that generation. Why don't we just promote him? I think it should be based on the skill, the knowledge, how he promotes the art, you know, his attitude, right? Then it's better to have it coming from a federation than me self-promoting myself, right? And I've seen that a lot, you know. Shoot, walk down Luneta and you'll see a lot of them, right? Self-proclaimed. But do they have the skill? Do they have the experience? Not really. They just have that uniform, a unique uniform and a unique get-up, you know, and they call this art, you know, whatever they want to call it, call themselves a grandmaster. So, you know, that it happens, but it's better to have somebody acknowledge you. And I agree with June, where it has to come from the same, you know,
Umbrella.
Group or organization. You can't just have a karate guy call you a grandmaster because, oh, you're skilled, or you can't have a taekwondo or Korean federation give you that title. It has to come from the same background or same system, not system,
Umbrella.
but
Umbrella.
umbrella
Michael?
martial arts.
Mike?
There you
So my take, it has to be kind of I think it has to be a mixture of both. It has to be both internally and externally. And if you're in a system and you're recognized by your instructor that you are promoting FMA or that style accordingly, you will be recognized internally. Yes, there might be different lenses, but I think I also agree with everybody's context of yes, it's also good to be recognized from outside the same organization or the same umbrella, because what you're putting, your output is only dependent upon what you could deliver within your region, where your instructor might be in a different location, right? So the area is huge. I mean, we're talking about you know, the United States of America here, right? I mean, people could gain their rank system in one state and teach in a different state. There's factors of involving, like, what do you bring to the community? How do you present yourself? How do you increase self-awareness, not only to yourself but to others, and help the community? So there's that two factors involved in there, and I think it's good to have the underlying background, to have outside organization within that same realm to promote you if they deem and see you worthy of getting that recognition. Similarly, internally, I mean, if you are delivering that across board, surely your internal organization would also recognize that, but maybe not. But you know, it's a context of your performance in terms of your what really can you deliver, and what are you presenting, and how are you carrying yourself and contributing to the martial arts.
So
If
very
it's
nice,
FMA,
guys. I mean, I'm really happy that all you guys are sticking to what I assigned you to defend. It is very good, and I like the way we kind of end each topic. We're trying to put a solution on a problem, even though we probably it's gonna take us years to
Get to that level.
get to that level. One thing
I
I
didn't get
guarantee you
I
guys.
didn't get a warning. You just, Mike, I'm done. Okay.
One thing I can guarantee you guys. If I am on that panel, uma-accept ako ng lagay. You will be GM.
Magkano yan? Magkano? Magkano?
Since we're friends, 20% discount.
20%.
Zelle or Cash App or ano,
Ano yan?
We're in the
Crypto?
Philippines.
Ano yan, pupunta tayo sa ano?
Ganun pala. Ganun pala.
Oh man.
Next topic. Rules. This is rules of fighting. Either full contact or let's say athletic competition. Okay. So we're talking about not carenza, but fighting. On one side will be defending just FMA. That means you can only do techniques that are FMA. That means stick and live hand. On the other side will be all out. You can mix jiu-jitsu, Thai boxing, judo,
Anything goes.
anything goes.
Yep. Oh, man.
So, wait, how do we pair up this before? So June and Julius and Michael and Alex. I will start with you, Julius. You start.
So what am I? Am I pro? Am I pro or what?
You are pro for everything.
Okay, cool. I think the FMA from the very beginning has been like that anyway. Like, if you look at the quadrillo and how they were depicted with the drawings, they had a spear, they had a shorter weapon for close and finish. You know, they also know rifle. There was never a point of contention of separating the arts. It was like, what was combat practical, applicable? What are the body of knowledge, the corpus of knowledge that I could do to finish my opponent as quickly as possible so that my unit would win over their unit, right? Or my squad would win against their squad. So if you're going to have a subsystem of like, oh, I just specialize corto, I just specialize medio, I just specialize knife, I just specialize stick, like, you're not going for how FMA was practiced historically. And I think you're severely limiting yourself, and it's against the spirit of FMA to limit yourself. You know, there was never a point in time where FMA was static, because there was all these people that were coming to the Philippines. And even when you talk about Muay Thai, we went to Thailand. We're part of the reason why Ayutthaya collapsed. You know, because there's a couple of people from Luzon that went to the Burmese side and basically burned the city down. That's what Bangkok is. Bangkok is just it's just a replication of the old Ayutthaya kingdom. It was replicated, you know, downriver essentially.
That's actually on the historic book. Just want to let everybody know that is actually a fact. That is not made up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's the thing is there was always that Thai influence, you know, that's kind of like almost like having that Krabi. There's a Southeast Asian thing, right? There's a Silat with the Indo, you know, Malay thing. The Sibat, the spear, was basically from people that were there already, the original Aitas and the different, you know, groups, right? Obviously, there's the saber form and destreza and all the European martial arts that came when the trade was opened up, the port towns were in the 1820s. So like German and Italian, you know, sword, you know, techniques. So, and then also even tapado is really like more of a samurai style, right? So there was never, and even in Panay Island, they have the drop step. That's from Northern Chinese
15
system.
seconds.
So no, FMA has always been all-encompassing martial art.
Michael,
I'm done.
if it's done.
Oh, okay. We're going straight to Mike. Okay, on the other side.
Mike. Yep, other side. Mike.
So Other side, meaning that I'm only restricted to one style,
One style, no mixing of other
no
art that
mixing.
you know for now.
If we are looking at in the context of skill set, and we design a skill set for a particular style, and you have to basically demonstrate it, I'm all for it. Meaning that if I'm sporting this stance, we are going to fight the same, style to see who could demonstrate it effectively, more better, and faster and more smoother. So it's about enhancing the skills, is enhancing your skill set. We're given the parameters to have. I'm just going to use stick and mano mano or hand, and that's that's the style that that you also have to engage me with. Let's see who gets the better of the application. So to hold that stance, that's how you're envisioning maybe the context of delivery, to how we could see it evolve organically in just that one particular style set. So non-intermixing styles will engage a better idea and perspective on just that defined set skills for combat. So that might be the approach. That might be the approach of just thinking in that one mindset. I'm going to use sticks and hands, and you are going to use exactly the same thing. Let's see who could deliver the best application on that set of skills. Now, that is the ground rules, of course, but that you and I have to follow, so we could demonstrate and evolve from there. Now, back into the disclaimer, do I agree with this approach? I surely do not. I mean, we are FMA.
No, you
We
can
are.
say that, sir. Not yet.
Yes, but I'm just saying, just to defend that ground, really, to have that debate. Yes, I want to see the skill set and application just stand for itself.
I'll give you guys disclaimer later, but try to defend it 100% because okay, so we go to Alex. Oh wait,
So-
you got 30 seconds still, Michael.
I'm done. Go ahead, Alex.
Okay. So if I'm limited
Hang
to
on,
just sticking,
resetting the time, sir. Hang on.
okay.
Go ahead.
So if I'm limited to stick in hand, I'd have to learn how to apply the stick in hand like it's simultaneous, right? To make it more effective. Based on my experience of learning Palitawak, my left hand is also as effective as a weapon and a defending tool. So I would say that would be enough just to defend myself in that parameter, because that's what I'm specializing in. It doesn't necessarily make me limited. Hey, a boxer can fight with just both hands, so I can also do the same thing with my stick in my hand, in my left. If I'm since I'm right dominated, I'll be using my left hand too, not only for defense but also, for offense. And I think it'll still work. Just depends on my conditioning and my knowledge of how to use those techniques against a person who has more tools. It's just about keep on training and having that fighting knowledge. You can either play outside or inside. It doesn't matter, because that's the specialty that you're in. It's all about the play and the mentality of how you're going to apply all of that.
And
So,
quick,
yeah.
Alex, I think having the same stance as Alex to debate on that. I think he just called it out. It's a specialization. We specialize on this style with the stick and the mano mano or the hand. So we better be really good at it. We better find a way to make it work for us. We better make sure we have that one strike, one kill.
Yes.
That's our specialization.
Yes.
And if we have the same specialization, we have to fight within that specialization.
Yeah, I've heard a story like Gordon used to say, Flora Villabril had a good or a mean left hook, right? So if he If he attacked with and entered with a stick and he gave that left hook, knocked out the guy, go to the next one. You know, people like that. You know, I got to learn from GM Bobby Tabimina. His left hand is vicious. You know, and GM Ernesto Presos, once he grabs your stick, you're down on the ground. So you know, there's a lot of specialization going on there. Everybody had their own flavor, but hey, you know, it's still effective. Doesn't mean that although I'm limited with just my upper body and I can't use my kicks or whatever, it doesn't mean that, you know, I'm
15 seconds.
defeated. So yeah, I'll still fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if I have that specialization, right? I mean, it's all about
Yeah.
timing, right?
Yes.
If I could deliver it, and if I'm successful at it, and I'm a very successful fighter with a hand and the stick, fight
Yeah.
doesn't last 1 minute. That's it.
Yeah.
Very good. So, June,
Yeah.
you
All right.
are an
So,
expert of one. You are a multiple art.
multiple systems, multiple arts, and everything. Look,
Yep.
first of
Go
all,
ahead.
to defend my position or this position that you've given me. All right. FMA is a complete martial art. We've got panantukan, sikaran, dumog, weapons, blade, impact. We've got it all. So if we're going into a tournament, if we're going into a fight, it's technically all systems go. You're going to pull out whatever it is that you need to be able to win the fight that you are have in front of you. It is not my fault that you are not well-rounded. I shouldn't have to handicap myself that you are not.
Is that
you
directed
are not.
to who?
You are not well-rounded. You
Go ahead.
know, I am a Filipino martial artist. I should have a little bit of this, that, and the other.
Ooh.
I just
Drill that in. Drill that in.
all right.
Mukhang may pinapatamaan ito ah.
Oo nga eh. Sino ba timing nito?
Walang iya kayo. I was supposed you guys messed up my disclaimer.
I
You
will
guys make it
explain
look
this.
like I'm giving this stance. Damn. All right. So it's all systems go, first of all. But just because it's all systems go, yeah, I'm gonna specialize in my particular things. But that's for you to figure out. And that's for me to figure out. I'm gonna use everything I have to combat you. As we all know, as fighters, when you're gonna go fight somebody, you look at their strengths, you look at their weaknesses, and you work your strengths and against their weaknesses and kind of go from there. So I'm gonna use every tool that I have in my arsenal during that fight. So should you rules of engagement to a full-on FMA fight, bring on the pain, bring on the toolbox, bring on the whole arsenal, and just let it all rip, you know? And plus, if it's gonna be an FMA fight, it'll be done in less than 10 seconds. No. All right. There. Yeah. All right, that's it for me. Was that
You still got 1 minute, so Julius,
Let's
if you want to
talk-
back
I'd
up
like
your
to thank
guys.
the academy and
Yeah, so-
Julius,
So
anything to add?
my thing is even when in the context of MMA, that's why it's MMA, right? Mixed martial arts, right? You have guys that really are non-specialists. So the best fighters are non-specialists. So you know, GSP is considered in the running as like the GOAT, right? You know, or at least like maybe like the top 3 GOAT, right? One to 3. He's not spectacular at any specific range or style. He's just above average in all the disciplines in wrestling, in boxing, in kickboxing, in clinch game, in jiu-jitsu. But because he's
30
above
seconds.
average in all those different aspects, that makes for a spectacular fighter. So that's the kind of the mentality that we need to bring in FMA. That's it.
Oh, all right. So we're defending our position on that one
Rebuttal,
based on what you're
Michael,
giving us.
Michael.
Disclaimer.
You have the floor, Mike.
To what? What are we doing again?
What they said.
Debate to contradict.
counter that?
Contradict that.
Well, let's put it in an intellectual level. Mastership on a specialization is a preference. If I'm a good assassin with my rifle, and I could shoot you in a 1 mile range, I will keep on doing that. That's my specialization, right? So I don't need anything else. I have a specialization that could terminate you in 1 mile range.
Margo, he's talking about Mano.
If I'm really good at that, the fight ends in 1 second.
And you're not even close to the person.
Talagang tinalbog yung 10 seconds, ha?
Ayan sa lolo ko.
It answered to what Michael said on the other side. No?
Here's the thing: people aren't going to cooperate with you in a real fight. So there's all these extenuating, circumstances, and they're gonna try to find a way around that. And if you only got one barrier, well, then you're screwed. So yeah, and then 40, 50 years later, they're gonna be arguing, oh, I really won that match because he put me in a headlock. So you know what I mean?
There's no headlock in my system. I'm specializing in 2 steps.
Yeah, as opposed
You
to
are really,
as a
if you're a true FMAer, you should be able to put a head about.
no, that's my point. That's my point. That's my point. So that as opposed to
the next component.
if you learn how to defend from all ranges to begin with, you wouldn't have that argument, in the future. You just be like, well, yeah, I kicked his ass because I knew the counter to that counter too,
Let me throw something
Right.
for multiple art, the multiple, everything goes. Well, if everything goes, it's gonna take time for you to learn all those multiple way of fighting. While the guys who are just one, they only are training
Yeah.
for one.
Well, that's a good point. But really, if you're understanding the principles and concepts of fighting, you're learning a few principles and concepts and applying many techniques to it. So
I always put June on the freaking champion side. Okay, Alex, debate that, Alex.
Oh well. So for me, it's like, hey, if you even in the MMA game, you go, since you guys mentioned the MMA and whatever, if you're specialized in one technique or just one system, like I'm limited to, stick and hand, even in the boxing ring or in MMA, you can see, that leg kick and that right cross or the 1-2 knocks out a person, right? You don't need to know all of that. If mentioning what Julian said, if you had the sipat, the bolok and all of that, you're gonna get confused which one you're gonna use first. By that time, I already knocked you out. You got too much stuff.
I'm confused.
So many weapons, he doesn't know what to
Wala yan. Bago mo lang ganun yung sipat na,
It's like, teka lang, ano ba to?
out ka na. But seriously, that's how limited ka. Because you're limited, you only have so much you can use. So I think that that you see it in the ring, you see it without weapons, with weapons. Specialization is really good. I know people are going to tell.
Let's build on this one too.
Yeah.
If you really know a lot of systems and styles and you specialize in one, you know what your go-to would be, right? Your specialized one, because that's what's going to kick in. It's a flight or fight scheme. Your specialization is going to kick in, and that's what you're going to use.
Yep. Okay.
I feel
Can I
like the
counter?
concept of going to an aquarium and having a lot of.
I concur on the aquarium type.
Look, all
But
right.
but you're right. You still go to the type that you like. And that's what you take out. Any let's swap it this time. Let's see the opinion of if June and Julius now has one art. How will you defend that?
All right. As one art, I'm gonna go with the specialization. All right. So if I am specialized with, let's go with weapon hand and free hand, right? I'm gonna specialize on that and know my game in all ranges, all fight capacity, and all possible scenarios. Whether it be largo, medio, or corto, I will be prepared to basically be very specialized in fighting with that capacity. And then defending against multiple different approaches. Now, there's only so many ways to hit me. There's only all these angles on this side and all these angles on this side and all angles on straight in the middle. So as a specialization, I'm just going to narrow it down to a few and then really use my strengths against your strengths or weaknesses, depending on what it is that you bring to the table. But as a specialized capacity, that's going to be what you get.
Alex,
A counter for all of those.
style.
What's good about multiple style is that my one system might not work. I can go and abort and go to the next one and counter, right? So it's you have multiple options if you have a multiple system. And if your largo doesn't work, you crash in, you can do a corto, and if that doesn't work, you can take them down. Use your other tools. That's the beauty of having multiple systems. It does it take some time to work it out? Definitely. It'll take as much time as the specialist who just has limited and a multiple system to work out all of that, to cover it all. So what's good about it is, hey, if I've only learned close quarter in one system, the other system I've learned all of them. If I needed double weapons, I can do double weapons. I did. If he goes in close quarter and I have a knife, and I can use my knife. So basically, I have all these options as a multiple system person. Then a specialized just stick in hand. I don't think it'll take longer to learn that, because whatever effort you put into it, as long as you it's always quality over quantity. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Mike?
Well, you know what though? I will say your timing's going to be off because you're going to get confused on which arsenal to pull out. Yung counter mo kanina yun.
Counter kagad, ah. Wow, counter kagad. So my take, multiple systems, multiple styles, definitely makes you, I think, a more well-rounded fighter. I mean, you have, instead of one arsenal, you have multiple arsenal. If you're specialized in one style of stick and live hand or mano-mano, and you're trained not to let go of your hand or let go of your weapon because that's your specialization, in my system, I could have an option to abandon the weapon and use that as a bait, or use it as a projectile weapon and use it as a form of my advantage. Then I have multiple arsenal to take on my opponent and win that fight. If I'm specialized, I'm limited to some extent, right? So if my training and specialization do not let go of that weapon at all costs, well, my mind said I could let go of this weapon and use it as a projectile and win the fight and make it quick. Yep. Which would you pick? I mean, you're more of a well-rounded fighter, or well-rounded. You have more of an arsenal. Then sure, I think you have a little bit more advantage. Will you get confused? Yeah, I'll confuse you, June. Hey, look at my weapon. Look, I'm gonna take you down afterwards. Or here, June, let me stab you. You want to take my weapon? Go ahead. I'm gonna choke you from a takedown. Yeah, I mean that's what FMA is about. I think we have that organic, evolving styles, and allows us to be a little bit more different from other systems out there, because it allows us to grow and build on the different arsenals available out there. But that's what FMA is about, in my perspective, is that it has multiple arsenal, multiple systems, and it's just so organic that we evolved from it.
Hey, Julius, one art.
Okay. Prior to the thing, just for like a few seconds, June, put headphones so there's no backfeed.
Headphones.
Yeah, put headphones. But okay, so for one art, I mean the one art school of martial arts it's kind of battle tested. So a great example of that is Khabib, right? No one had an answer for his wrestling. No one. And he became undefeated, right? Same thing with Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano was like, nobody had an answer to Susie Q. That's what gave him that, nearly 50-0 almost, capability. So that's the thing. There is efficacy with just having like one style, but the thing is, like, you have to really be a master at that, where no one had an answer for it. Because if you're not a complete master, a great example is like Tito Trinidad and there's another Mexican fighter that specialized in the left hook. They had a left hook, but the problem is they relied on it so much, and then when they come across someone that, Pepino Cuevas is his name. Pepino Cuevas and Tito Trinidad relied on their left hook, but when they fought people that knew how to counter that, to set up, the jab, they lost. Basically, they lived and died by that weapon. Same thing in like the featherweight class in the WEC. Was it Pejadipano or something, or Pequeño? He had the guillotine, but when he came across Aldo that had setups to counter, to escape that guillotine, he didn't have no answer for it. So yeah, one style is a solution if you're a true master of it. If there's no hole, you can have just one style and you can defeat it pretty much anybody. So.
You gotta unmute.
We're good. I'm done.
So it's a pretty good discussion. We just got to make sure that again, for people who are practicing, you cannot have multiple art, but not a master of any of them. So
By the way, I think the back feed is with Guru Alex.
Yeah, I think it's there's a party upstairs. That's why.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a party up there. How come we're not invited?
Because Guru Paul has us coming here to debate.
Guru Paul, debate. Grabe.
So our last debate that we're going to be talking about.
Wait, is anybody on Facebook got anything to add or question or say or anything? Let's see if there's anything that anybody wants to say or contribute. We'll give you like a quick minute while we take a quick drink. Which I don't think there's going to be anybody, because I think we pretty much covered it all. We covered both sides and really kind of said a lot of things on that.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and move to the next one.
It seems like our discussion debate today is very successful. What we're going to do, since it's 12:07, we will end it. We will give you each a chance to really give an opinion on the three topics that we talked about. Okay, so number one will be changing name from the original holder of the art. If you don't need to pick sides this time, whatever you feel like your stance. To be a GM, do you need to be a good fighter, undefeated, especially on an FMA setting, not on any other martial arts? Rules of engagement on a fight. Does FMA really needs to prove that we need to be an expert on stick fighting or sword fighting? Taking away, let's say, grappling or headlocks, throws, judo, whatever, And overall, what do you think what do you think this debate gave you on general, a takeaway after everybody spoke? Who wants to start first? We go alphabetical order. Alex, you go first.
Well, for me, it's always about preservation. So I would not change the name because I'm honoring my lineage. When it comes to the title, for me, it's just a title. So it doesn't matter what the title is. It's about the skill level, your mentality, how you can teach it, and how you can share it, preserve the lineage of your master. So even if you're given that title, you're still giving homage to your roots, giving credit. I think FMA, as we all know it, it's a multiple system. So, you know, it's always good to be well-rounded. And then, what was the last one? That was pretty much the last one, right? So that
In
covers-
general, how will you what will you say to people? What's the takeaway that you get based on our discussion today?
takeaway that you get is keep an open mind. You know, remember we made this disclaimer. This is just a discussion. You know, we're not trying to pinpoint just anybody. Don't be too sensitive when it comes to, you know, discussions. But you know, I know it happens because you can be biased. That's the takeaway on that. And you know, don't, as a discussion in a debate, it's not personal. So
Correct.
that's the takeaway. So you see me booing too when you say whatever, you know, it's all for fun. We're all buddies here. So for me, it's like we learn from this. Learn from us. So open-minded, wise. Hopefully, we can help you guys out, right?
Very good. Julius, your turn.
Oh, so the first one, yeah, don't change the name because we seem to be one of the only traditional martial arts that, you know, want to keep on adding hyphens, and the guru is not even dead, and there's already the 5 lineage holders already want to make it their own and all that. I mean, you don't see the Japanese, Koreans, or Chinese do that, or even the Thais, right? And then what's the second one? Oh, the GM. I don't think you have to know how to be like the ultimate badass in order to call you to be a maestro or GM, because how many maestros in FMA today has actually stabbed someone or taken a life? I mean, objectively, the generation or two before us, that was common because, like, shoot, even me within the same family, like, my dad left me in the Philippines and I was raised by like World War II veterans. So, I mean, I overheard their stories all the time. That's not something to be proud about, you know? So to me, like, what determines the GM is, can they pass the knowledge in, and is that person that they pass the knowledge in, is that person combat effective? And what is he adding to the tribe? That to me is the hallmark of a GM, is the capability of creating an effective fighter that is a positive boon for the community or for the tribe. If they're not capable of that, then might as well not be a maestro. You know, what determines a maestro for me is a holistic knowledge of Filipino things. So it's like prayer, healing, being a good father, being a good husband, being a good uncle, right? And then the final one, yeah, we shouldn't limit FMA, but we should. So with a caveat of, we should not limit FMA, but you have to be master of one or at least 2 disciplines, because, like, it's good to have a base, but it's good to know everything so that you can get bailed out in case that base doesn't work out, right? So I'm taking a 50-50 position on that one. And then the final one, what do I take from this conversation? Look at us here. We're all different systems. We all get along. I think the fundamental weakness of FMA is so many of us, particularly in our culture, so onion skin, right? Yung balat sibuyas, right? And it's just like, yeah, I understand sometimes why it's like that, because there's a lot of trolls too. But we need to do more boodle fight get-togethers instead of actually fighting. So that's all.
June.
All right, I'm gonna try. I don't remember the order of things. I was just kind of like in thought with my own answers and.
You don't need to
takeaways
go in
and stuff,
order,
but-
by the way, sir. Senior. You
Yeah,
don't need
yeah.
to go in order.
So fighter to be a GM, I think it's I mean a GM or an instructor or whatnot. I don't think you have to. I mean, everybody has to start from theory. Everybody's coming up with fight concepts and theories and everything. I think the experience helps, the credibility, it helps with the confidence to be able to say, hey, that technique works, and be able to really convey that across. You know, you build out your resume and confidence there to be able to really pass it on. So no, to be able to know in terms of having to be a experienced fighter. I think you just have to have the right personality, attitude, and be able to convey appropriately the right skills and knowledge base. In terms of lineage, you know, look, we know the respects and what it takes to be able to be taken into an organization, not into an organization, but to be taken in as a student by a grandmaster or by a particular group. We are asking them to share with us a very, very special gift of knowledge that was to be given to them. It's not something that they just give out to anybody. So when I have earned the respect and friendship and bond with these instructors and grandmasters as it may, I owe a lot of gratitude. I have a lot of gratitude for being able to be gifted that knowledge and capacity. So I am no way, don't think that people should be able to kind of just go out and claim their own, because it's got to come from somewhere. And if they just going to say, hey, you know what, I've fundamentally just observed and put this thing together, well, then by all means, go at it. But there's always a source. There's usually always a source that you got to pay respects to. The whole changing name aspect, I think that you might have to, at some point, create your name because in association to you, but understanding that whatever that name might be will still need to include that understanding that it is linked, that you represent this, that, and the other. So it's not that you're doing a hyphen, it's not that you're changing anything, you're just giving yourself a name, because then you're now catering to your students, because whoever was my instructor might not be the one teaching, but at least I still represent those and are still gonna hold accountable, or not accountable, give acknowledgement to my instructors and my teachers for the gift that they have given me. My takeaway from this whole dialogue or this discussion, first of all, I am very, very thankful that I did not get hit by a bus, get anybody here got excommunicado. I was really worried today when Guru Paul comes out of the blue and says, we're going on live. So I was like, holy crap, what are we talking about? And particularly, we had some major things going on today in FMA community. And I was like, there ain't no way I ain't talking about that. But, coming from a lot of different systems, I mean, everybody here is guru, experienced Filipino martial artists. And to have a panel of great mga kababayan that's really knowledgeable and comes in not just experienced martial artists, but comes from, I guess, represents a couple different traditional systems, is kind of an honor to be, amongst a great panel here. So and insights from you guys each on different perspectives is actually pretty interesting. So that's kind of why one of my great takeaways here is just it's a great community. I mean, this is a great example of it.
Mike.
So to answer a couple of the questions, let's see. I'll start off with the names of the systems. I think we are all on the same ground of respect and humbleness. It should not be changed. But at the same time, if it's promoting other styles that you are willing to support FMA in passion, by surely means that there's a way to promote those. But surely do not. Those are critical. You've been given. You're part of a group. Your teacher has accepted you, and you are by design to support that lineage and that title and by that system. So I agree with that. In terms of GMs, what is a terminology for GMs? You could be both a theoretical fighter or experienced fighter, not having any wins in your whole life, but yet you produce tons of students that are really good practitioners. And in retrospect, you could have a lot of experience too. I think experience count. We all start from ground zero. We learn we start off from nothing, and we learn it from through our journey. So if you don't have to encounter any fights, but yet you promote FMA and you have good students that proliferate the art and encompass to make it a wider known system to the world and community. Title is just title. It's really your passion that counts as an instructor. If you get called a GM, that's the humbleness that you have to accept. But really, that's just a title in my mindset. The third portion is that I think the community we have right now. I mean, this is a great community. We're chatting with what I'm getting out of this debate is really the different mindset and perspectives. I mean, I think everybody have said it. I think we are all have different experience level, different styles, different systems. We're all instructors, but at the same time, what we bring to everybody and then to each other is that we accept an open mind approach. This is where it differentiates us from others, where we're open-minded enough to say, hey, that's an interesting perspective. I might not agree with it, but at the same time, I'm not going to argue about it because it's just a different mindset. It is an open mind approach where this is a well received forum. So that's my takeaway from this debate for today. Again, I thank you, June and Paul Show, for having this debate this evening to have that communication. And yes, there's a lot of things going on out there, but at the same time, we are all approaching it in the right direction, in a positive energy, and we're continuing to strive in promoting Filipino martial arts. We might be in different styles, different systems, but we are in the same path. We are all on the same path. So that's just the quick ending for mine.
On the end note, on my point of view, I know
Yeah, Paul, your turn. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't take sides because I'm the odd numbers here. So regarding family name, my opinion will be, if that is the wish of your instructor that taught you to keep the trend of the family wherever it started from, then maybe grant his wish because he accepted you as a student. That happened to me when I was learning Hirosa de Cuerdas. Nanligaw ako. I mean, I courted to be accepted for years until I got accepted. And then suddenly I will change the name. I mean, I took a lot of effort to be a Hirosa practitioner. And just to throw that name away because I get the title as, let's say, a guru, seems for me is ridiculous. But at the same token, I do agree that if you have multiple representation, you should be able to create an umbrella that will cover all that art, not disrespecting all the system. You're not telling them that, this is my art now. You're not saying that. You're just saying, I'm just putting a cover so all of you guys can go and fit all of us in one room, almost like what's happening here with us. All of us are multi-style. We're in one discussion and having a great time, right? So for me, keep the name. If you really need to change the name, I will say teach your student where it came from. That's the topic of a GM for me. GM should be able to pass on the knowledge to the next generation. It's not about fighting. That's why I think there's a confusion in the FMA community between a GM and a champion. If you're an undefeated fighter, you should call yourself an undefeated fighter or a champion. Don't call yourself a GM. Now, if you can teach and you can pass the knowledge and you are a role model to the community, giving positive attitude. We talked about community. I think Julius said the tribe, the community, the organization. If you can do that, I think you should be a GM, but it should not be pointed by the same group. It should be given by another body. Then we go back again that we talked about. I mean, I'm going back again to the takeaways. Maybe the GMs right now who are handling or taking care of the FMA community, no matter what the art is, she'll probably one of these days sit down and really organize something to create a one body that will say, this is the path that we should do. We should really promote people who are deserving, not because they are just undefeated fighters. And I do believe that not because you didn't win in a ring doesn't mean you lost the capability of giving that experience. In reality, you can tell your students, don't do this because this is what's going to happen. It happened to me. I got knocked out because of this. Then show them the tape that you get knocked out. Right? So there's an educational purpose that can be given even though you lost in a ring or in a fight. At the end of the day, it's still passing the knowledge. If you want to be a champion, then it's another route. You need to be called a champion, not a GM. That's my opinion. Regarding, well, now I lost my track now. Regarding fight, multiple art versus no art, I still believe you have to start with one base.
Yep.
After you get better than that one base, then start creating other bases. That means if it's a war, I can create bases, multiple bases, wherein if I'm going to attack you, let's say with my fighter jet, I can go from the north, land on the south, go from the south to the east and the west. I have always this landing spot that I can go, so I don't need to go back to where I'm at because I might get hit. But you need to be an expert on one first. You need to have one port that everything happens in that relay station, I guess you can call it, and be really good at it. I think that's basically it. Am I right? A
Yep.
takeaway most of the time that you guys talk about, if you guys didn't understand, didn't hear it, you guys mentioned a lot about knowledge. This is just assessing what you guys said. A lot of them was based on knowledge. You guys mentioned a lot. GM, no GM, fight, no fight, multi-art. It's all about knowledge. So the commonality of all this debate is knowledge. The next one will be respect and community, organization. So us being gurus right now, and hopefully maybe later on we'll be in the platform where the GMs are now, I encourage the current GMs to probably please organize and help us build a better FMA. Any other comments from the panel? And I thank you for the last minute drag that I brought to you guys. Everybody was worried. Everybody was ready to rip my neck off.
I ain't gonna lie, I was
I actually thought nobody would show up. So, but I think this whole debate thing is very good, and I think we should do it again with
Yeah.
another
Others.
3 topics.
Yep.
And thank you again, guys. Last word from anybody? Open floor.
No, thank you again, everybody. This has been great, and you know, especially on the Jun and Paul show, we've been kind of doing different projects and stuff and whatnot, and this is a good segue to different opportunities to connect with the community and kind of just really showcase a lot of instructorships that are going out there, especially with the instructor crews that we have here.
Yeah. Maybe before we sign out, say something where you're at and what style that you
Maybe
teach
what
or-
styles you represent. Yep, absolutely.
And,
Julius.
Julius, you go first.
So panlaban sa tulisan, Luciana Eskrima, Lameco, tabak ni Bonifacio. So those are my 3 things that I learned in my life.
Where are you at, sir?
I'm Orange, California. And my final takeaway, just my final words is we should all strive to be more like GM Bobby and Guru Dan and Sano. So Bobby Tabuada, and so that in the future we don't have no baby mama drama. You know what I mean?
Amen to that. Next.
Alex Ursa, Balao, California. My teach College Illustrissimo, Combatan, Paite Laguna Arts, and Palintawak. But yeah, thank you for having me. I always enjoy our discussion offline.
All the discussions online, offline.
Hopefully, mas marami, more people to come. And I know it was nerve-wracking to think, hey, what are we gonna be discussing? What's this?
Actually, my goal is not to tell you guys the topic, so it'll be more interesting. It'll be
Yeah.
more scary on the
Yeah.
spot. Hey,
And then
Alex, by the way, you have a seminar coming up here in Florida. You want to mention that?
Yeah, so I'll be helping Master Dan Loman teach some spa day daga over there in Fort Myers. But since I'm gonna be there for a good 2 weeks, if you wanna DM me, for some lessons, I can accommodate you. If you want to learn some Calicilistrisima or something, within my range of knowledge. Okay, just DM me.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Mike?
thank you.
Mike?
Michael Vincent Malañon, located in Cincinnati, Ohio. I teach 3 different styles in Tabuada Balintawak, Filipino Combat System under 200 Dinaldo, Barasugbo under Grandmaster Eduardo Sinisa. Carrying that umbrella under my brand, Mactan Filipino Martial Arts, located in Cincinnati, and a couple of branches in around the Ohio area, Dayton, Fairfield, and extending out, but really primarily supporting those 3 systems. Other than that, again, as I mentioned, this is an awesome forum. Thank you for having me as part of the debate, even though it's offside. I wasn't sure where this is going to lead. The surprises, not really fond of surprises, man. Not really fond of surprises. The meeting before the meeting, yeah, I'm all for that. But man, that surprise questionnaires, no. But yeah, all fun. So also, if you guys want to check out events coming up, check out the website www.mactan.com. All right.
June, you want me to go first?
I could go. That's fine. Yeah. You're gonna have a long laundry list, so I might as well just keep mine nice and short. All right. Guru Alicio Jun Barha out of Balintawak, South Florida, with under Tabuada Balintawak, and also a practitioner. Teka lang. I'm getting kind of choked up here.
Emotional.
This is really a touching debate for me, guys. No, but Balintawak, South Florida, I pretty much head the group here. And at the same time, I also do some Heroes de Cuerdas under Guru Paul Rosales here, and also under the Delano group of the Combat Kali, Villabrel, Lucky Lukai lineage. So do a little bit of the Espada Daga there too. So that's my trio. Everything else I dabble in.
I'm Paul Rosales. I don't know anything. My twin Antuken is the one that knows a lot. It's a Hirosa de Cuerdas here in the US. I teach Serrada, Eskrima, and lineage under Takosa Serrada. I am also a practitioner of Garimot and also Paete. I'm currently trying to learn Baro Sugpo, which is connected to Michael and GM Senza. I am also a student of Maranga, and right now also trying to learn from Alex with a KI. So if you guys notice that the whole panel is basically mixing arts right now, which is the way it's supposed to be. No fighting, no debating, and I am really happy that this night debate happened, and hopefully we can do it again with more panels, more experts. So we put them on the line, we're not. So very good show, and I'm really happy. And again, thank you for joining us. June.
Oh, and our guest,
And our
Mike.
guest. Thank you guys.
Yes, Alex.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this. It's really good.
A great conversation.
Good conversation.
A little
Thank you
bit.
guys. Have a
Thanks,
good
everybody.
night.
Thank
Yes,
you.
have a good night.
All right.
Good night.
All right,
Thank you.
Pares. Ingat-ingat.
Take care. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.